Hey guys, Grifton here. So Blizz made a lot of big changes from TBC to Wrath, but a lot of small tweaks ended up having just as drastic of an effect, and I want to talk about those. So today we're going to be doing 5 small changes with big impacts. But before we get started, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on cool videos like this one. So these are in no particular order, so let's just get started. Number 1 is Attunements. So Attunements in TBC required a lot of knowledge, or at least an add-on to guide you through it. It was frustrating to make sure you were attuned, and especially frustrating when you had multiple characters trying to get into a raid or heroic. I've seen raids fall apart because the tank didn't realize they weren't attuned. In Wrath, Attunements are gone. This is great for people with alts, doing split runs, or even if you don't have the time to commit to do all the questing required. Now, you just walk in the front door and you're good to go. Though I did like Attunements personally, I think most would agree it's great to have them gone. Number 2, buffs. In TBC, buffing was a chore, especially in raid when 1 or 2 people scattered across a few groups need your buff. You had to either use an add-on to figure out who needed it, or buff all the groups to ensure you get everyone. On top of that, buffing required a large amount of time, mana, and reagents. It also required organization if you were splitting buff groups with a fellow class member. Now, jump to Wrath. For most buffs, it's a one-cast problem. About to pull, buff the raid, and you're ready to go. Now, there are some notable exceptions, mainly Paladins, which still have the class-targeted buff system, but don't you dare feel sorry for Paladins. They are absolutely broken in Wrath, and they will get no pity from me. But for the rest of us, enjoy the extra bag space and less stressful buff time. Number 3, Enchanting. This one is a favorite for me, as I am an enchanter. In TBC, getting an enchant was an art. You had to be on at the right time to find the one person in your guild, or maybe on your server with that special enchant. You then had to guess what a good tip was to not upset them enough to ignore you next time you asked. If you were an enchanter, making money required time sat in trade, spamming your most viable enchants, hoping you'd find someone interested. On top of that, you couldn't enchant your own alt gear, meaning if you had the best enchant in the game for your alt, you had to find someone else to enchant them for you instead. Now, with Inscription, they introduced the concept of putting an enchant on a scroll. By doing this, you can buy and sell enchants on the auction house. This small change will make enchanting new pieces a breeze. Do you have the right mats? Can you find the right person? Who cares? You can just snag it off the auction house. And if you're an enchanter, you can finally make a consistent income without spending all day online with your looking for work macro. Easily a great change to the game. Number 4, reputation. So in TBC, rep was a constant nagging issue, especially in early TBC. The dungeon you ran was usually determined by rep you had or rep you needed. Want to do a heroic? I can't, I don't have the rep. Hate Shattered Halls? Too bad, you need the rep for that revered weapon. Rep was a driving force behind a lot of dungeon decisions. Well, in Wrath, that whole concept is gone. Instead, rep can be gained once you hit friendly by simply wearing a tabard of the faction you want, and that's it. Now, please note that not all factions have tabards, but most do, and it will allow you to run any 80 dungeon you want to generate the rep. For those of us that remember the Shadow Labs farms and the Shattered Halls runs, this will be music to your ears, especially early on when rep can hide some of your best pre-raid biz items. Plus, some of the tabards don't look too bad. Number 5, pets and mounts. Now in TBC, my bags were constantly overflowing with stuff. My bank bags were even worse. Even with my max bag space, I never had enough room. My mount collections, I could never use all of them because I didn't have the bag space to support them. And I had collected some really cool companion pets, but I never even carried them around because it would have required me bringing them with me wherever I went. And with Wrath, companion pets and mounts were moved to a pets tab. It made getting a new mount less of a concern on where you'd store it, so you can just get every color of a mount you want and pick the one you want for the day. And you can show off all your cool companions while you're standing around waiting for a rogue to log in and steal all your loot. At the very least, it made the idea of pet and mount collecting much more bearable. And that's 5 small changes with big impacts. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you have any cool changes in Wrath that will make life better for all of us, leave it in the comments below and maybe I'll make a follow-up video with your suggestions. Thanks for watching, and as always guys, take care.